Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tome Knowledge, where we give you knowledge for free in this economy. What?
Right? Open that book
Inflation-free knowledge. What'd you say? I'm sorry, I talked over you.
So you open that little book and you take that little notch and you just like, boop, and just put it in your little brain hole.
You just drop it in your knowledge bucket for you.
Just a vampire girly.
Hope everyone is having a great Monday. I will say that I called into work today and played video games because I felt like ass.
Well, hey,
But now I feel less like ass, so we can talk about some stuff. But before we get to talking about stuff, if you haven't yet, go check out our YouTube. We got some stuff on there. That's it. That's it.
we have
If you like stuff, go check out our YouTube because there's things there. They're available.
And if you want early access to our stuff, Patreon. early stuff access. Oh
Damn,
man,
you're so good at selling shit.
God, I mean, the best. We're so good at selling stuff that our new merch store is still not up. To be fair, it's not done. New merch isn't done, so we've had some life stuff happen, but that's okay.
yeah.
Tome Knowledge is our D&D educational podcast / podcast stream live and listen to later show.
Amazing. We're off to a great start today. I feel like this is going to be a great episode, and I hope you guys are strapped in for it.
I think the giggles from Friday night is carrying over into this episode.
I mean, yeah, I
Maybe,
guess.
yeah.
Friday was wild, and if you don't know what we're talking about, we have a live play D&D campaign. It's our second campaign on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So come tune in this Friday and come watch us play D&D. And then that gives you plenty of time to watch all previous episodes just before Friday.
Mhm.
Just binge all of them or listen to them on podcast, wherever your favorite podcast is peddled.
40 episodes of goodness.
It is.
Vampire girly, you're new to D&D. This is the show for you.
This is
We
it.
teach people. I mean, we're not D&D experts. We play a lot of D&D, but it's we talk about mostly our perspectives and our thoughts on D&D. There's
I'm a
more
D&D expert.
D&D nerds out there who are more informed than we are.
I'm an expert. I'm calling
Max
it.
is an expert, though.
Yes.
Professor
all the books
Maximus.
are. I did it. Like I did the meme. All the books are in here.
One day we're gonna have a
it.
chip in our brains, and we'll have access to all the D&D books in our minds.
Yeah. Whoa. I know D&D. Oh man, today we're talking a little bit about some news in the D&D world and some new stuff. We haven't really talked about it in a little bit.
In a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute, but there have been some new things that have come out, so I figured we may as well talk about them in the D&D world. But as always, if you have any questions about D&D in general, or like something came up in your game that you want some advice for, you can just talk to us. You can ask us through our Discord. Maybe we'll cover it in another episode, whichever you prefer. I have a question for my esteemed guests here, Moobs Like Jagger and Virtual Spectre. That was my segue into saying your names because we didn't do it in the beginning.
Oh.
What would you rather talk about first? We've got 3 topics on the docket. The first is Wizards announced SRD changes again. Spooky. If you don't know what SRD is, it's the system reference document. It's what allows you to
5.2.
Yeah, it allows you to use certain rules of D&D without any legal recourse and other such to make content for it. There is that announcement. There is also an announcement of D&D Beyond Marketplace changes, some pretty major changes too. And always, I don't know why I said and always, I meant to say and also. And also, there's a brand new D&D Lego set. So I'll let you all discuss amongst yourselves which ones you want to start with.
Let's go with the D&D Beyond Marketplace. How about that
D&D
one?
Beyond Marketplace, probably I don't know about the spiciest of them all. Maybe it
I
is.
think there's like a good thing, and then there's a not so good thing.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Wow.
What is it?
I just hit a button so they can see the news article that we're reading. So this was a few days
Whoa.
ago. D&D Beyond Marketplace redesign, everybody. See what's new. Wow. So they released on April 30th a new version of their marketplace. The D&D Beyond Marketplace is previously where you could go and buy books, buy like individual like new subclasses or items or anything on the D&D Beyond the marketplace is where you would buy things. Adventures, like one shots, stuff like that. So, the first major thing that we can talk about here is if you live in the US, you can now purchase physical books from their marketplace, which is huge
It's pretty
because
big.
I like having books behind me. The thing is
Yeah.
though all since I run the game, all the players use my D&D Beyond stuff, right? And I don't I don't have the disposable income to buy the book on D&D Beyond and then buy the actual book afterwards. Like it's way too much money to do that. But if given the choice, I do on D&D Beyond, so my players can use that stuff, so the DM can share and all that. But I will say that's a very neat change. I think that is took too long to implement. They had
Very,
this.
very long.
They had this before, by the way. They have another way that you could do this on like the D&D site is you would like log in a D&D site and you'd buy a bundle. So the recent Giants book that came out a couple months ago on D&D Beyond, I bought the physical copy and it came with a key as well. So they kind of did this a little bit with some releases. And then when they came out with the Deck of Many Things book, I was like, oh, I'll just do that again. It turns out with the Deck of Many Things, they had like some big ass like bundle that cost like $130 for all of it. So I didn't do it. But
It's a lot of
yeah.
money.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, I don't want your like little cardboard box thing. Like, I don't give a shit. Just give me the book.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of books. It's an expensive hobby, you know. It's just
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to buy a physical book and then not get a digital key. But so you're basically buying it twice.
Yeah.
Kind of greedy.
What's also interesting that I find is I think if you pre-order stuff, it shows you preview content of the books that you buy too.
Like a PDF.
No, it's through D&D Beyond. You can access like certain pages and stuff.
Mm.
I've had that happen and stuff too. But what I do like about it is, shipping times are always like when you're buying a physical copy of something, like I do like the fact that when you buy it, it's in the storefront and then your book just gets shipped to you. Like when the Giants book came out, it was like 3 or 4 days after release. I think when it showed up, but I already had it on D&D Beyond and was already messing with stuff and working with it. So I think that's a great change. I think the big thing that I don't like is what about brick and mortar stores? What do they do about that?
Mm. I mean, is that
Well,
kind of like always the case though? Because like Amazon exists, right? So people are going to buy it on Amazon or go to their favorite brick and mortar shop and buy the books. So it feels like the situation is already there, but now you can just get it directly from D&D Beyond at a discounted price. And
yeah.
I know maybe typically brick and mortar shops have like I know they do this with Magic. I don't know if they do it with the D&D books, but like, oh, there's a special event card or something. Like, so will brick and mortar shops have a special event something if you purchase a Dungeons and Dragons book from their shop? I don't know.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there's enough customers that maybe don't touch online like D&D functionality they might just play in person with the group or have been playing with in-person groups, and all of their stuff is physical. So I'm sure there's still going to be people out there visiting their shop for the new books, and so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't like it because Wizards of the Coast has always been like a vocal proponent of like the friendly local game store and stuff like that. But in this case, there is a distinct disadvantage if you buy the books locally. I would buy every book locally if there was parity between them, but it looks like now, and I don't know how to solve this. Like, what do they do? Include a code with a book and shrink wrap them all? Like,
That's what they did in 20 years ago, back in the olden days.
yeah, I mean, did they have codes behind the counter? I don't know. It's scratch off stuff. Like, I don't know how to fix it, but I don't like it.
What if they? I mean, what if it was one of those things where like you could? Yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
Uh, Maybe the cheapest way is like people buy the books or whatever, but the brick and mortars. So WotC has to send these brick and mortar people like a yeah, like a scratcher card. So
Mhm.
for every book purchase, you get accompanied by with a scratcher card that has a serial number or code that they can redeem on D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
Uh, that's probably the easiest, cheapest way to do it instead of like having individual codes shrink wrapped in a book because people are going to
Yeah.
return shit, right?
Mhm.
So they already redeemed the code, but they returned the book. So that would avoid
Yeah.
something like that.
That's another great point is what do you do if someone buys the book and they return it? Like, do you have to return it with your unscratched off digital purchase? If you do return the book, is it like exchange only, like no refunds kind of thing? That seems like an inventory nightmare for a local game shop too, honestly, because
hmm
WotC will want to make sure that those codes are going to the people that are buying the books and like wanting to make sure um that inventory is controlled. Because I doubt they would be sending them extra codes too.
hmm
But yeah, I don't know how to fix it. I wish they would though, because I would buy it from a local store. But I mean, as of now, like I will buy all of my books on D&D Beyond like I've always been and then get an actual book now. So, but I think it's a step in the right direction. They just need to fix it for everybody.
I agree.
Now, that's the kind of good part. Here's the kind of bad part about it. um, let's see. In D&D
Yeah. Can
Beyond,
I?
oh, go ahead.
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
was
I
like,
was just gonna say what we're gonna about to talk about. But you
oh,
can.
okay. I talk about discounts when you bundle stuff. It's fine, but it says, can I still purchase subclasses, feats, and other game listings a la carte? Meaning, oh, I really want to play as I don't know, pick your favorite races in another book. I really want to play as a hobgoblin. Maybe I'll just buy Hobgoblin on D&D Beyond for like $3 because I don't care about owning the book. My DM already has, I guess if your DM has the book, they could share it with you, but
199.
yeah, or however much. But they used to be able to do that. And I had done that previously before for like something that's one off that I wanted, before I started DMing heavily. I'd buy things one off instead of buying the whole books. But they took that away. You can't do it anymore. You can't buy individual items anymore.
It's gone. Yeah. It's you know what's a weird thing is I never knew you could do that
Oh,
because
really?
That's a new thing
uh
to me.
in both my groups, like us and my other group, I was just given access to all the books because Max, you would buy all the books and give access to all of us,
Hmm.
and my other group would do the same exact thing. So I had no clue you could buy things a la carte, like races and subclasses and all that, for just like $2.
Yeah.
So when I saw, I read this news, I was like, oh, well, that sucks. People can't do it anymore. But this is the first time I'm hearing about it because I had no
Yeah,
reason
I
to look at the
wonder. I
marketplace.
mean, there has to be some like metrics involved with that kind of decision. Like, were they was enough people doing that in order to like keep that a thing versus just getting rid of it altogether. I almost they probably didn't see too much of an issue if they decided to axe it. Maybe they just didn't get enough money that way. I don't know.
It's a whole lot of words to just say greed.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
in most
you're
cases,
preaching to the choir, man.
in
Yeah.
most cases, decisions are made based on data, and
Yeah.
and if we're being logical, and if that's what the decision came down to, then yes. But now people have to spend 40 to $60 to buy a whole book just for one little
Mhm.
thing that they wanted, which sucks big time.
Yeah, and there's games that I play in online that we don't use D&D Beyond. It's optional. Like, and it's like, hey, if you have like a paper and pencil character sheet, great. If you have a PDF, great. If you want to use D&D Beyond or all the other like Roll20 other stuff, is like great. Whatever you want to do, as long as I know the info that I need to know. I don't care what platform you use. Anyone can do it. So
Mm.
situations like that, if I wasn't DMing, because now I just buy the book so I can share it with everybody to avoid that. But in situations like that, if I'm a player, it's like, and I want, a specific like subclass, like I would love to do that. Now, like what you were saying, maybe people aren't doing it or didn't know you could do it. It wasn't very highly advertised, but I I question. I don't know, because I don't think
I'm
it
sure
would
there's an
be.
element of greed involved in the
Oh
decision
yeah,
too.
For
I
sure.
mean,
yeah,
For
they're
sure.
looking to make more money. They always are. It's how companies are, but there's
yeah,
probably also a little bit of like spreadsheet behind it. Like
yeah. Well, the
we don't
thing
get that
is,
much in there anyway. We
well,
might as well just
I question how much work it actually saves, like how much actual like labor it saves, because all the things that are involved in those books have to be made into the character creator anyway, right? You have to be able
Mhm.
to do all that. So I guess the only thing it saves from like a website perspective is individually listing stuff. But I don't know. I'm curious what the ratio is of the middle ground is gone. What's how many people just bite the bullet and buy it versus don't buy it at all. I
I
yeah.
guess
think
they saw some upside.
it's probably future proofing as well, right? Because the new suite of books are coming out,
Yeah.
and then they would have to do the same things for those books, and that's a lot of SKUs. Like
Hmm.
if and to a la carte every single race, every single subclass in like 3 new books are coming out. Yeah, that's a lot of SKUs. It is a lot of work. I don't know how much of it is automated, but and then also you have to do like regional stuff like that. So I mean, it makes sense. It's simpler and easier for them to just get rid of it now to move forward to make things easier, but it also
Hmm.
sucks for the community who relied on these a la carte things. Like, yeah, like you said, because there's a lot of one shots going on. Like, oh, I want to do this combo. I'll spend $4 and I can make my
Hmm.
character. So I don't know how vocal the community has been, and maybe there'll be some like, they might walk it back and they're like, hey, so we didn't realize how much people really like this and wanted this.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And maybe y'all are right. Maybe it's not a very much used feature, and people really won't care that much. Um, but it sucks to have something that was available taken away. Because
Mhm.
obviously people did use it because they've said that they keep the things they already have.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean
I mean,
taking
go
stuff
ahead.
away is a whole other
It always sucks.
can of worms. As we've seen.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, I mean, I like Moop said, I had no idea that was a thing. Like I it's not anywhere when you're using D&D Beyond, like in a banner or anything like advertising it. I had never heard of a la carte
Yeah.
like classes or
Hmm.
nowhere.
I'm
Bloom
yeah.
Stalker's on sale, 99 cents. Buy it
Yeah.
now. I don't know.
I mean, hey,
I guess
people
it's
are.
I don't know. It's fine. I like the bundle of buy it, get a physical copy, but
Yes,
Can you
100%.
imagine a D&D Beyond battle pass?
why
Please
would you?
don't
So
throw it out.
here's
You put it in the universe now, VS.
here's the thing. is there's already paid versions of D&D Beyond that I have to do. There's already a subscription that I have to do to be able to share shit with y'all. So
Mhm.
it's not a battle pass. It's the same thing. So there's different tiers. So like, if y'all didn't know, D&D Beyond, unless you have a subscription to either the hero tier or the master tier, you have a cap on how many characters you can make and how many encounters you can make. Sharing homebrew content. If you are on the hero tier, you cannot share content with anybody. You have to be in the D&D Beyond master tier to share. So hey Bort, thank you for the resubscribe.
What's up, Boricus?
Such a sweetie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I just have whatever the free D&D Beyond
Guys,
is, and you can only
I'm
make
a
6
basic bitch,
characters.
and everyone shares stuff to me, and I don't contribute.
That's true. Because we've had issues just in the caches and cantrips, universe, where if we're doing one shots and stuff, I'm like, hey, you got like, I don't know which one of it is. Like, hey, you got to delete a character because we need a one shot, and you have to make a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened for
Yeah.
sure. Because we're freemium players.
I will, and I think as a DM, you can only share your content in so many games. I want to say 3, maybe, and don't quote me on that, but I think I know there's a limited number. I just don't know if it's 3 or more. There's a reason
for the freemiums.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just for the D&D Beyond Master Tier, for what I have, I can only share with so many different campaigns. But also, and with Bun in the chat, she's like, "Not me. I refuse to delete my characters." It's because Bun and I have a home campaign that allows her to satisfy her need to make 900 characters and not have to delete it.
So
do you pay for your account? Then why? Why do you pay for your account? I don't think you do.
Yeah. 6 is not enough for. I know what she's feeling.
Or just a freemium person without any subscriptions, you get 6 slots.
This might be a little like brain rot from being exposed to video games and microtransactions, but if they wanted to still have smaller transactions, wouldn't you think they would go the route of like add 2 character slots for
God,
$2.99?
Oh God.
Well, listen,
I mean,
it might happen once their virtual tabletop goes through. So don't be surprised.
I'm not saying I want that, but if they're like,
yeah,
it would be scummy, but
also I got confused, Bun. I was thinking of sharing content and not characters with you. The reason why you have that is you have the content that I've got. Yeah, so I really want the D&D.
That would be for freemium people, like people that aren't paying but still want more slots.
I really want the D&D tabletop experience to go one of 2 ways. I really, really want it to be absolutely groundbreaking, amazing, holy shit, great. Or I want it to be total and absolute ass. I want it to be one or the other. Because if it's holy shit, absolutely amazing, great, I'll have no problem changing everything over. But if it's total ass, then the community will just drop it and they'll forget about it. If it's somewhere in the middle, which is where it's probably going to be, you're going to have to deal with like, oh, well, how long is my virtual tabletop going to be around? And how long can they skirt the rules and not, get sued by Hasbro, that kind of stuff, right?
I think it all depends, because because they lost a lot of goodwill, right? A lot of negativity from the community from all the stupid things that they've done.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of turning things around with the new SRD 5.2. So it's transition. very promising. So if they can keep the goodwill, like rebuild like the community, right? Or like gain the faith back from the players in the community, like with the 1.2 SRD up announcement. And so hopefully the virtual tabletop is like they have to nail it, right? So
Yeah.
but yeah, speaking of transition.
I was gonna say talk about winning that goodwill back by firing a major chunk of your staff, but
Well,
I digress.
that
Sorry.
that also hurts, yes.
Oh, so okay, we're talking about the latest announcement now from them. Let me go back to the screen here.
Production value. Let's go.
Yeah, we've had this the whole time. I just didn't use it. Just didn't. It's been there the whole time. Max is a commie. Let me tell you, I'm very anti-capitalism now. But that's a different podcast, I'm sure. Seize the beans of D&D production. Amazing. So they
You're not
announced,
alone, Max.
yeah.
We're
So
all there. We're all there.
SRD, that's a bad word now because of what Wizards of the Coast did. And if you want to know what they did, you can watch some of our previous podcasts where we talk about it, reading the online news articles. Basically, they tried to pull a fast one over the community and invalidate a lot of the promises they made earlier and make a generally less favorable environment for online creators to make third-party content. I think making it a genuine or generally unfavorable is kind of putting it lightly. It would have been very bad for online creators who rely on making third-party stuff. So what they've done now is this is hot off the press 9 hours ago. They've announced that they're making an SRD 5.2. So if you don't know what we're talking about, SRD 5.1 is what they came out with in response to the community just being in an absolute uproar over what they were planning on doing and like their fan policy and all that stuff, all that things included. So basically the SRD is, well, here it is. It's basically it's a condensed set of rules for D&D that includes classes and monsters and races, like a very like narrow selection. It doesn't include every single book, but it's basically a free set of rules that anyone can get to learn how to start playing Dungeons and Dragons. And the thing about the SRD, the system reference document, is anything in there you are allowed to use to help create third-party content with that stuff. So think about a game that I have talked about quite a bit on here, Solasta, which is a D&D 5th edition like game. I think they got permission just extra, from talking about it as such a big, production to make a game, but it's based off of the system reference document. Everything that's included in there, they're allowed to use, and they can't use subclasses from X other book. They just make up their own. So this is why this stuff is so important. But they've announced that they're making another update, SRD 5.2. But what they're saying is that it's going to be modernizing for the new rules that come out this year. And it says it's the same scope. It says creators will have tools they need to create content using the revised and expanded rule set. And if you didn't know, D&D is doing a whole update to 5th edition with all new, changes to races and classes and subclasses and rules and monsters, like all kinds of stuff. They've been doing playtests for well over a year now. So all that stuff is there. It will not include lore references. So I don't recall if there are any lore references in the existing SRD, which I guess is fine. They probably don't want to include their setting specific stuff here. But I'm very skeptical. I think anyone that relies on this stuff should definitely read it in its full when it comes out. Because I don't know. I don't think they'd try to sneak something in there just because they fucked up so bad last time, but still. but I think they're just refreshing it because it goes on to say that you can still use the current one if you don't want to use the new rules. It doesn't go away. It doesn't invalidate anything previous, which was the problem with the other suggested one, was that it invalidated previous system reference documents, I'm pretty sure. Or they tried to.
I think that's a huge win there, that this is to include the new suite of books coming out like 20 of this year in 2025. But 5.1 still exists. So if you don't want to use the new material, you can still create content using the 5.1 SRD. So I think that's a big win, especially for third-party creators like Kobold Press and all those people who are like starting up Kickstarters for all these third-party supplemental material for D&D.
Yeah, and they've said that the new SRD will be after all of the rule books. They call them the 2024 core rule books, but some of them are in 2025.
Yeah.
So I think the one in 2024 is the player's handbook, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the DMG comes out at the end. I don't remember. Which just don't get me started. Blows my mind. Is I want all three of them. But DM, I need all three of them. Don't make me wait like 6 months in between. But we already talked about that.
We did. Yeah. Pile them together.
Yeah. So they're gonna localize it as well. I don't know. It seems like that they're updating it with their new rule set, which is a good thing. They're gonna keep it in the Creative Commons, which is a good thing. So, one thing that's important about being in Creative Commons is that they cannot revoke the license once it's out in Creative Commons. You can't get that back, which is what they tried to do with the previous update before everyone kind of got very upset about it. So that's good. Is once it's out in Creative Commons, you can't get it back. So yeah, I'm very skeptical about this, and I think we're just gonna have to see. I guess in 2025 when the last book comes out, which is I think the Monster Manual. So, hello, Nicole.
Hey.
Because the whole thing was like really messy with the OGL. I think it was like 1.2. With like the whole controversy way back then. And then they were like stayed quiet about it for a long time. Yeah, so maybe this is like a little different because it's involving the SRD rather than the Open Games license.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like same level in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. As I think the SRD gives guidelines for the Open Game license or Creative Commons or something like that. So I think now that they're almost one and the same, but I'd be very skeptical if I relied on an Open Games license to make your content.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way. Like they are excited for this news, but they also have a lot of reservations, right? Because we've been burned before.
I'm curious. So let me look and see when the new D&D books are releasing. I forgot. Are they even calling it 1 D&D still? Like I don't
know what they're calling it. I think they're calling it. I think it's just 5th edition revision.
Revise. It's 5.5 in my heart. Like I don't.
I mean, yes.
So 2024 handbook is September 17th. It says 2024 DMG November 12th. And then it says 2024 Monster Manual February 18th, 2025. So what's interesting to me is how far ahead of this that they've gotten is we're about a year away before the expanded SRD even comes out, because they say they're going to wait until after all the books are released. Right. Because I think it contains things from each of those books, but they're announcing this in May and they're waiting until like at least after February of next year. I don't know what the thought process is. And maybe this is a question for you, Moobs, of why so early. This is kind of up your alley a little bit.
It could be a combination of things. Let me put my consultant hat on.
Yeah. Are these billable hours or is the first one free?
First hour's free.
Okay.
Only for us, no one else. Everyone else has to pay me. So they haven't released a lot of news recently, right?
Mhm.
But they still have these other books that they're continually releasing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they felt like they wanted to get ahead of the conversation. And again, maybe it's to build up that goodwill again. They're like, "Hey, we're listening. We want to make things right." Um, and then maybe they're also, in a marketing sense, I feel like they're ready to drop like another big set of news. Like this is like just like the
Mhm.
warm up, and then they're gonna drop something big, and then hopefully they're hoping for people's reaction, be like, "Oh shit, D&D's back, baby."
Mhm.
So it could be a combination of those things that they're prepping the community for bigger news and let's get those big goods, baby. And yeah, like they haven't announced anything or said anything for quite a while. So it's just like
Mhm.
I think maybe they're saying like we're gonna wait until all the books are out because probably they'll have to do some erratas and like
Yeah.
change some rules and like maybe there's misprints or anything like that. So they probably want to get all the erratas out of the way before they drop the new 5.2 SRD.
Yeah. That
What's an
was
errata moves?
So for those who don't know, an errata is so because these books are physical, that they if they're gonna change the rules or fix something that wasn't intended, right? Like a prime example, I'm gonna put my old man hat on. In third edition Dungeons and Dragons, haste used to be allowed to give person a second action, right? Which meaning they can attack twice or they can cast 2 spells. So that was
Mhm.
third edition haste. So in 3.5, they errated that, saying like, okay, you can't cast 2 spells with haste. That's just too OP. So but because it's a physical book and they typically don't do reprints, they make like a PDF or a website a resource stating like, hey, this is the old rules. This is no longer valid. We
Mhm.
changed it, and that's what they call it errata.
Yeah. It's like a correction in print. Since you
Thank you,
can't
moves.
recall a book. Yes.
Yeah.
That was Moves Like Jagger, our senior digital media correspondent. Now we'll pass it over to Virtual Spectre, our senior vibes correspondent. What are the vibes on this VS?
Well, being the senior vibes correspondent, I gotta say, uh, hesitant based on the information I've received
Hmm.
and past failures of the company, but hopefully lessons have been learned, and there's could be a positive upward vibe trend in the future, depending on how they choose their next steps with the books coming out and their marketing and all that stuff.
Is there a vibe
Is
front
this
coming in from the east,
yeah,
or?
is this a yahi or nahi? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Deja, how you doing, man? um, so we've talked about news. We've talked about mixed feelings. I guess both of those were mixed feelings. There's some happy sads in both of
Well,
them.
yeah. Both
Um,
were mixed.
how about this? How about we talk about Legos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's like sold. How about we talk about
Finally,
the
something I might understand.
oh, come
Just
on.
kidding.
How about we talk about the D&D official Lego set and get our thoughts on this one? So,
I got an initial thought.
yes.
Legos are too expensive.
Yes.
Yep.
There it is.
I would like to point out that the price of this D&D official Lego set is $360 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
I thought it was like $200, and I thought that was expensive. My God.
I was when they first announced this, I was so ready to spend my adult money to buy a thing that I was gonna build and just have in the corner of my office up here that I always blur out so no one actually sees anything.
Mm-hmm.
Legos are not for
Then
you.
I saw the price and I'm like, that's a big nope.
I went to a Target the other day, and they always have a Lego section, and I saw a few things under like $50, and they were like the little tiny things. Everything
Mhm.
else that was like even remotely cool was upwards of like $100 or more. I'm like, Jesus, man, isn't this for kids or not? Like,
No, we're the demographic. It's
I
us.
know, I know, but
F them kids is what they're saying.
Yeah. I feel bad. Bun got me a Lego Star Wars set I haven't built yet, and it was for my birthday like 2 years ago. We were gonna build it together, but we haven't yet, and now it's packed somewhere.
That'll be your first activity when you guys get in the new house.
Yeah, for sure. So apparently, if you're a Lego insider, you get an exclusive adventure called Red Dragon's Tale. I think that's part of the live stream that they did, maybe.
Possibly.
A new Lego building
It's got some
experience.
thick pieces. Like the beholder looks dope, the red dragon looks awesome, the owlbear
Yeah.
looks dope, placer beast. It's like there's so many cool things in this thing that I wish I could afford.
it would be cool to like imagine running a fun in-game D&D session and using Lego as your battle map. And
But
but
I
when
think
it's this
It's an
price,
expensive
it's
battle
like,
map, buddy.
okay, well, never
you know
mind.
what kind of sucks is that the adventure module is not even included in the Lego set. You have to, if you want a physical book, you need 2,700 Lego points or whatever. I don't know what that is. Or
Is
you
that
can
how many you
download the
get for
PDF.
buying it though? Insider points is like 2,700.
I think as if you have 27 insider points or Lego points. So if you're buying, I'm guessing it's their reward system.
Yeah.
You can they'll mail you can redeem those points and get a physical booklet. But otherwise, if not, you can download a PDF.
Heck, man.
So here's what. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I had heard of the Lego points, but it still baffles me how that is a thing. Like, hey, this currency that's only usable on our stuff, you only get for spending a lot of money on our stuff.
so here's what it comes with. You get a dwarf cleric, a gnome fighter, an orc rogue, and an elf wizard. That's the party that you come with. And then it has an owlbear, which the owlbear does look pretty sick. The dragon looks awesome. And the gelatinous cube. I love the clear Legos, man. Like
The cube looks so stupid and dirty, but I want it.
It looks like they took like the same kind of Legos and like windshields on a car, the little blue clear.
Yeah.
Um,
It doesn't look like a gelatinous cube, but I want it.
the medieval
clear.
castle's $100. Oh, all the licensed stuff. Look, Lord of the Rings is 500. Hogwarts is 470. So here's my take. These are pretty cool, right? I this is what's hard for me. I guess it also has a beholder somewhere in there too. A lot of this stuff, a lot of things about D&D in my mind is D&D is kind of like your own adventure. You choose the things that happen. Like there's nothing about this as an IP tie-in that super draws me into it. Because honestly, if I'm going to spend the $360 on this, I'd rather buy a Lord of the Rings set, because that's from the movies. It's got characters and locations that you're familiar with. Like D&D, Red Dragon, you can get a dragon, right? You can get a Lego dragon. You can get a Lego castle. You can get a Lego house and call it an inn. You can get Lego dudes. Now, some of these things like the orc, that's just a normal Lego with fangs, tusks painted on, right? This is just a dude with a beard, right? This just has pointy ears and is short.
I do like the Dragonborn being a Lego dude with a dragon head.
I didn't see that guy right here.
Yeah, so there's more pieces, but this is just like their pitch, right?
I guess.
I think there's like a human Lego. There's also some other stuff, but like I think the cool thing about that is you could just pop off their heads and swap them whatever willy nilly.
Yeah.
Because there's a there's skeleton.
Yes,
there's
Max
like
is
human
right
dude
though.
with full night gear. There's a displacer beast that they're not showing on the landing page. There's like
wow.
Wizard lady with this cool staff. Oh damn! Look at that motion stop.
There are fun
it's little spinny things you can see all the way around it.
And I think the idea,
but
because this Lego set is kind of modular, like there's
Mhm.
different building pieces, and then all comes
Yeah.
together. So I think it makes it fun to build together with friends, and then you can do like the little D&D adventure booklet that they made for it.
Yeah. Some
It's
of this
just the
stuff,
price, man, murders me.
sell the individual pieces, sell the individual unique pieces, because there's nothing unique about a big ass castle in a tavern in a tree, right? I don't know how much that would actually bring the price down because that's probably the only. It's not the only like unique part or generic part, I should say. Like this is all probably generic Lego stuff that they just added in. But yeah, yeah, I think Workus, you're putting it in a better way than I am. It's like it's not your D&D. It's like D&D is very personal because everyone's D&D experience is kind of the same. Like this, nothing about this set just screams like I gotta get it because it's D&D. Like the only thing that makes it D&D are those little unique things. Like the gelatinous cube, you could make that. Adventures, you can make them. Skeletons, they probably already have them. Owlbear and the Beholder, and then you said Displacer Beast. There it is, right there in the front. Those are the only real like ooh brand new piece type stuff. But
Now,
Like the iconic D&D thing that's like only in the D&D universe.
yeah,
if they continue to add on to like their D&D Lego product list and start introducing like a lot of new unique Lego pieces, like other D&D monsters that maybe you can't make with other pieces, maybe it'd be worthwhile then. But for that price, I don't know, man.
or I mean, they probably couldn't swing this because licensing and all that with like the actors. Make it after the D&D movie. At least you have an established story and you know what you're getting instead of just generic D&D set. Because like Lord of the Rings, like the Harry Potter stuff, all those branded stuff have like a piece of media that you can directly tie it to that you're like, oh, I get to play with the things that I saw in the theater. Like with this, it's like, oh yeah, there's an owlbear, but like it doesn't connect with me. It's not the same as my D&D experience with an owlbear, right?
Or even like the iconics from the TV show from the 80s, right? Like
Oh
they could have done
yeah,
something like that. Like that's two
yes.
different like two different stories in the same universe. Like they did like the Honor Amongst Thieves movie and plus like the iconic stuff, like the animated show from the 80s.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a much better idea than generic D&D set.
Watsy, hire me. I'm full of ideas.
I don't think WotC does remote, so I don't want to work for him.
Oh, well, never mind then. I'll stay here.
Yeah, it's like you want to go to Seattle? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they will. Who knows?
I do love the weather up there. It's like I preferred weather. Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, they look cool, but I don't think it's anything that you really couldn't get without like a fantasy set. Dragonborn does look cool, but
I mean,
Yeah, tavern, baby.
if you scroll down, I mean, they list some of their other sets, and
Yeah,
they have
haunch of
this
meat.
medieval castle set for
yeah,
99.
yeah. Here's some of the stuff. It is cool. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's cool,
Yes.
but not cool enough for me want to buy it. If I'm buying a Lego set, I'm going Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something else. Formula One in my case.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's
They
cool.
do
It's
got
cool
some
as
cool
shit.
Technic car.
I was ready to drop my
So-
monies until I saw the price. I had my wallet ready. I was gonna pre-order it. I was like, oh, never mind. I can't
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
At least they're
you know
having
what's
fun
worth the price? Lego typewriter.
though. What?
What?
Scroll down more.
Oh, I'm still going through all the pictures. I'm showing I just did the last one. So Lego typewriter. All right, hold on.
That's $250. Well worth it. I don't know if it actually does anything. It's just
All right, it's pretty cool, but
It looks like that very famous brand of typewriter that I can't remember. What's the most famous typewriter? Someone must know.
the
system.
Clack 5000.
Thank you, VS. Yeah, I know they did a lot of marketing and they did their own adventure with like, D&D celebrities and stuff like that. But it's not enough for me to want to buy it. But you know what? Maybe it's not for me. Maybe they don't want me to buy it. Maybe they want other people to buy it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Not
And
not everything has to be for you. It's okay to say I'll pass.
yeah. But everyone in the comments, especially, I mean, Bordicus and Bun are saying the Lego like botanical, the floral sets are
Oh, those are
chef's
nice.
kiss. Those are
They're pretty
nice.
cool.
And if you don't know what we're
The
talking
succulents? They have
about,
succulents? You get them at
Yeah.
Costco for a better price?
this is not D&D related anymore, but since we're talking about it, these like this orchid, like I would rather, instead of putting real plants in my house, get some Lego plants.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Wouldn't that be sick? There's some succulents, like you were saying. And these are actually kind of reasonably priced because they're about as much as buying flowers, except these will last forever. So but anyway, let us know what you think about the SRD changes, the D&D Beyond changes, the Lego set. Come on our Discord and talk about it.
D&D Converses? We didn't talk about that.
There's
Forgot
D&D
about those.
Converses?
Yeah.
Well,
There is.
Well, why didn't you tell me that before?
I forgot about them until I remember. I was like, what other D&D branded collabs are they doing? But
All right,
only
last
one
thing.
look cool. The others, I don't like the other designs. There's just like one of them that has a cool look.
All right, we'll look at them before we get out of here because you piqued my interest for a moment. I was right in the middle of wrapping this up,
Our
but you
sign
pull me
off.
back in.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at all these here. Let's open them up. I will say that I am not. Holy shit! How many pairs of shoes are there? Okay, we're done. I'm not a Converse fan because they don't feel good on my feet. I will say, and I wore some black on black Converses in high school, and I got weird feet. I don't like them, but they look cool. They're iconic. How do I view this? Can I not? Oh. I'm gonna start critiquing websites. Why can't I click on these pictures to make them in big, and why can't I scroll through them? There it is. Hope y'all can see that. This one is actually kind of cool. Here, I'm gonna get the link so
Yeah.
my esteemed
That one, there's like, what's the other one? The red and white one? Like nothing on the red and white one says D&D to me. Just a wizard man.
I mean, the easy layup would be to make the Converse logo into a like D20 shape.
I think that they sewed a D20 shape
on the black
around
one.
it. The stitching is, but
Yeah,
the
on
logo's
the
not.
black one. The one we're looking at right now does it, I believe, but the others, not so much.
That is a good point, Nicole. The sole on the side are scales. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, what else we got? There's a lot of shoes to go through here. What the hell is this?
Yeah, that thing could be anything.
I don't like this design. I would not wear these shoes. Especially like you can look up close and see that guy, and there's a whole bunch of like art over here, but nothing about that reads D&D from a distance. And if you're buying a D&D shoe, you want it to be like, look at me, I got D&D shoes, right?
Yep.
That's what I would think.
Put a big old beholder.
So many
on
other
the
designs
side.
are like that. Like I wouldn't guess this is a Dungeons and Dragons collab. You know, just like the first one is like, yeah, it has the iconic logo.
The logo from the original Red Box just looks awful. Like just on the tongue, it just looks awful.
What about this idea? They put a big beholder on the side, and some of the eye stalks go to the eyelets for the laces.
Now you're talking, VS. Now you're talking.
That'd be sick.
What is this? This looks like some tie-dye type stuff since that's in. Is that a random lich? I don't know who that is. There's only this many pictures.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Edit design? I'm not getting into that. Oh, combination of graphics, colors, and unique details. There's a little Viking dude. There's the D&D logo.
That's kind of clean.
Kind of, what is it? I almost like the one that has the tile set as the pattern on the shoe.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get through these.
With the others.
Oh,
with, like,
this
dragon
one.
Not that one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, this one's not bad.
I like the tile set on the map.
I'm gonna say that at a distance it reads Pac-Man to me and not D&D.
I also agree. That's why I say I almost like it. It's like almost there.
Yeah, this one's for the kids. That's fine. I don't have any issues with that. And they've got the huge area for art on the Velcro tongue. That's fine. I have too many requests for this website. I opened too many tabs at once and it told me no. Green one, I've got the same issue, the black and green one. Like,
Anything.
I mean, like, what is this? A leather
they have
version?
They have a whole quote on the bottom. Like, no one's gonna read that.
What is this one? This one's awful. The leather one's awful. It just says the dice taketh away, super small. Like, come on. I'm disappointed in these. I was excited when you told me, and now I'm disappointed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to end the stream on a down note.
They're all down notes today. I'm sorry. That's all. The first one we looked at is the best one. This one's the best
Say
one.
that for last. Oh
I
yeah,
should have, but it was up. It was the top. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, let us know what you think. Jump in our Discord, discord.gg/casters and cantrips. Come hang out with us. Tell us about what you like and don't like about all this stuff. The Lego set, the shoes. Also, if you find,
let us know what you want us to talk about, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And if you can find a good website that has D&D related shirts, please send it my way, because every place that I like and consider buying a shirt, they never have my size or their store shuts down. So let me know. I would love to buy a D&D shirt that doesn't look like ass. Anyway, have a fantastic night, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.